At least $10 billion will be spent to help those senior citizens, the president said in a live address. Dr. Ali said this transfer is for those persons who attain the age of 60 on or before December 31st, 2024 and have not met the minimum requirement of 750 contributions to receive a pension from the National Insurance Scheme.
For persons with 500 to 549 NIS contribution, they will receive a one-off payment of $260,000. Persons with contribution between 550 to 559 550 to 599 NIS contributions. 550 to 599 NIS contributions. A one-off payment of $390,000. Persons with contribution of 600 to 699. Persons with 600 to 699 NIS contributions. They will have a one-off payment of 520,000 Guyana dollars. Persons with contribution from 700 to 749 NIS contributions. 700 to 749 NIS contributions. They will have a one-off payment of 650,000 Guyana dollars. This measure will see a total of over $10 billion, $10 billion of additional disposable income being placed in the hands of over 25,000 of our senior citizens.
And President Irfaan Ali announced on Wednesday afternoon that beginning this year, the government will fully cover the cost of the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate, that's CSEC, and Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination, that's CAPE, fees for up to 8 subjects for every student in both public and private schools. An estimated $700 million will be expended and will see an approximate $48,000 allocated to each student.
Less than 24 hours ago, I announced that my government will pay the full CSEC examination fees for up to 8 CSEC subjects written by each school child, which will benefit tens of thousands of students countrywide, both in the private and public school. I will ensure that no child is compelled to limit the number of CSEC subjects they write on account of the financial circumstances of their parents. And this initiative goes beyond CSEC. It will also include the CAPE students, and they too will benefit from this initiative.
The payment initiative extends to students in both public and private schools. The Caribbean Examination Council, CXC, offers 28 general CSEC subjects and offers 22 2-unit subjects and 2 1-unit subjects for CAPE. CAPE is normally written after students successfully complete the CSEC exams. The 2-unit subjects are written over a 2-year period. President Ali said that the initiative is part of the government's broader commitment to building a prosperous and unified future for all citizens. The cost for up to 8 CSEC subjects can amount to approximately $46,500. However, the cost is often subsidized based on the parents' income. With this new measure, families across the board will benefit from significant financial relief. The Minister of Education, Priya Manichan, clarified that the initiative will not apply to students sitting exams this year, since those students would have already paid last year. Vice President Dr. Bartica on Tuesday declared that there will be no cover-up in the probe into the Linden police shootings this week and promised that the necessary actions will be taken after that probe concludes. The shooting of Ronaldo Peters by a police sergeant, which took place on Monday afternoon in 1 Mile Linden, prompted protests across the mining town throughout Tuesday, and the situation worsened when Keon Fergunet was fatally wounded by police during the protests.
I spoke with one of the aunts the day before yesterday, but at that time the entire family had gone to see the president at Watuka House. But I spoke with them and I assured them again that the People's Progressive Party and the government will not cover up anything in relation to these cases, that we are interested in a full impartial investigation too, and whatever the outcome, the consequences would be felt by those involved. And I also express my deepest condolences to the families.
When the news returns, the fire service says it is better able to fight forest fires and conduct forensic investigations. Stay tuned. Welcome back. This is the newsroom. Vishal Parmanan, aged 17, and Daniel Inchinali, aged 32, both from Cotton Tree, West Coast Babis, are reportedly missing, and their families believe they may have drowned. Daniel's father, Narain Sundar, and Vishal's father, Mahendranath Parmanan, spoke to reporters on Wednesday evening.
We started from Party Tree, come down till a bush lot.
What you found out from searching, how was the tide and so?
Yeah, them went from boat and me know what in the left the place 66 Cabo Creek.
When you were out there,
Yeah.
your experience today when you were searching about the tide and the waves and everything.
Yeah, about 12 o'clock the wave was big, very big. And we turned back the boat because we can't go with the boat. Because the wave was big and we got turned back. And then my son and my nephew them search right through. And then I find nothing. And then come away, I will come home because we not find out what we say we didn't drunk it, they never float now because when the body still, then they go float. But so I will gotta search again tomorrow.
So when we meet up 5:30, we start call them. Me on phone, but know how far then they're up. After that, when I get no response on the phone just a ring out, ring out. We come back at 3 door, 10 o'clock, me there 3 door last night I wait. But no response on the phone. This morning, 2 o'clock, my second son come. Say, Daddy, that them by watchman tell them by not coming. We get up from then, we wait to place bright, me and my son, big son. I will come with a take me next boat and I will the driver come out till by Wimpole there. Then we call my son phone back and then one man answer the phone, tell me that he find this boat at 10. So he hear the phone ring inside the bag and he pick up the phone and he answer. That the boat lick shore, the engine there down, the engine there in gear and everything there, but you know where they walk, man. So that is all me know for now.
We tell you now that the Guyana Fire Service Senior Officers Conference commenced on Thursday, with the Fire Chief Gregory Wickham stating that the service has reinforced efforts to combat fires and conduct investigations that meet international standards. The two-day conference provides an opportunity for fire officers to address shortcomings and discuss measures that can be implemented to improve the Guyana Fire Service. The 2025 Senior Officers Conference is being held under the theme Fostering Community Collaboration for Enhanced Emergency Response. During his remarks, the Fire Chief Gregory Wickham noted that through significant funding from the Government of Guyana, the Fire Service has become a leader in firefighting. Home Affairs Minister Robeson Ben said that in responding to emergencies, agencies under the supervision of the Home Affairs Ministry must be able to act as a cohesive unit.
In the Caribbean, the Guyana Fire Service is leading the way when it comes to these pieces of equipment. For example, we have in our possession 2 Bronto Skylift tenders that would allow us to do aerial firefighting and rescue. We have had the success of 3 of our officers undergoing and completing training from an international recognized university in forensic fire investigation. And so we are better prepared to deal with any eventuality of that sort.
You have the brains collectively to respond in ways to match up to the new imperatives of our development. These bring new challenges. There's a requirement for new training, new experience of the fire service.
Now, the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security will host its 5th annual Welift exhibition. This significant event serves as a pivotal platform for showcasing the ingenuity and economic contributions of women-owned enterprises.
I really am impressed by what the women have been doing. We have seen their growth. We've seen many of them move from micro to mid-level businesses, and we are hoping that with this kind of exposure, they can only expand more and more. Every day, there will be a number of sessions from yoga to makeup to craft making, jewelry making, candle making, soap making. So we've slotted an hour for each one of these on both Saturday and Sunday. There will also be a panel discussion, and I understand from the Ministry of Human Services team, there will be a dance-off, a gender dance-off. I don't know what that entails, but you can come on Sunday and have a look at that.
More news still ahead. Stay tuned. You're watching the newsroom. Welcome back. This is the newsroom. On the heels of a major government venture to support senior citizens with insufficient contributions to the National Insurance Scheme, NIS, Vice President Dr. Bartica said that the People's Progressive Party civic government will continue to support the NIS so that persons' pensions will increase. He spoke at a party press conference on Thursday.
You know that NIS over time has been paying out more benefits than what it's receiving in contribution. So at one stage there was this question that NIS, if it continues long enough on this trend, could go bankrupt. We've made it clear that will not happen. We will make major injections from the Treasury, and that would be one of the things. We have already done this. We will do that in a major way in the next term to ensure that the NIS pension can also be increased periodically, because although we have double old age pension, the NIS pension has not increased significantly because it's based on the state of their finances. And then I want to also say to people, because many of them believe the NIS is government. The government is a contributor to the NIS scheme, but you have private contributors too. The funds are not government funds. The government doesn't own the NIS, but we will have to ensure that the NIS not only remains solvent, but can have major injection from the Treasury, from the government, so that they can meet their obligation to their contributors, which are most of the working people of the country.
The Upper Quarantine Fishermen Co-op Society Administrative Building, a $32 million facility, was commissioned by the Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa at the weekend. The building is located at number 79 Village on the Quarantine Coast, and it will serve as a hub for various activities, including for fisher folk to access important services and resources.
Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa commissioned the Upper Quarantine Fisherman Cooperative Society Administrative Building at number 79 Village on the Quarantine Coast. Minister Mustafa said the requests were made for rehabilitation work to be done on the old structure, but Vice President Dr. Bartica committed to constructing a new $32 million building.
As a government, we know that they have been risking their life to ply their trade. That is why we will continue to support this important industry.
Meanwhile, Senior Fisheries Officer Michael Amsterdam said the commissioning comes at a critical time for Guyana's fisheries sector and is a direct reflection of the government's commitment to not only improving the livelihoods of fisherfolk, but also forms part of a broader national agenda to ensure that coastal fishing communities like number 79 Village thrive. Sector.
This building also is a direct reflection of government's commitment to improving the livelihoods of our fisherfolk. It also represents a broader part of a national agenda that is to ensure that all coastal fishing communities, like number 79 Village, thrive in this rapidly and competitively evolving sector.
Minister Mustafa also said that the government remains committed to engaging officials in Suriname to secure fishing licenses for fisherfolk on the Quarantine Coast. Minister Mustafa also said that additional work will be done at the facility in the coming weeks. Approximately 200 fisherfolk from along the Quarantine Coast are expected to benefit from the new facility. Reporting for the newsroom, Lazina Yearwood.
Now, given rising cancer rates among Guyanese, the government of Guyana intends to strengthen its capacity to train healthcare professionals and expand treatment options through international collaborations. President Irfaan Ali earlier this week expressed concern over the nation's cancer statistics and emphasized the importance of early screening. To equip healthcare professionals with the necessary training to treat these cancers, Guyana has partnered with the Northwell Health Center, a non-profit healthcare provider based in the United States of America. The Health Minister, Dr. Frank Anthony, addressed the country's ability to provide better training for healthcare workers and ensuring that the country can respond to the rising health issues.
One of the areas that we really would have to work on is in the area of training. And that's why this program is so vital, because the partnership with Northwell, where we'll be able to send our doctors to Northwell to get these skills and to work with the latest advanced technology so that they can come back and implement some of these techniques here at home. I think that's groundbreaking.
When the newsroom returns, we tell you how Orealla is using carbon credit payments to power their ecotourism plans. Stay tuned. Welcome back. This is the newsroom. Along the Quarantine River on Guyana's eastern border with Suriname, the indigenous settlement of Orealla is harnessing its natural assets and pioneering national carbon credit scheme to power its ambitions. The tight-knit community home to the Warao and Lokono peoples has long relied on traditional livelihoods, but now has its sights set on becoming a leading ecotourism destination in the South American nation. Key to this transformation has been the ability to invest in vital infrastructure, including a reliable electricity supply, thanks to funds earned through Guyana's low-carbon development strategy.
We don't want to always be in a position to be dependent, especially upon the government, even though they're there to take care of the people of the country and so on. We want to be a community who can strive on our own.
Along the Quarantine River, legend holds that Orealla's founding families traveled upriver from Ipira to escape a devastating flu outbreak. For generations, the Warao and Lokono community relied on logging, farming, and hunting. Now the village, some say named after a local term for white chalk that appears on the river in the dry season, is setting its sights on becoming one of Guyana's premier ecotourism destinations.
So Orealla is a place that you will want to visit. Currently we're trying to embark into the tourism sector. Recently we've had a visit from the Guyana Tourism Authority, and soon they will be coming to do certain training, or the introduction to tourism rather, in our community. There's potential in the different areas, sports fishing, board watching. We have had, or we host every year, we have what you call the Maraisa Cup, formerly known as the Forestry Cup. We also have the Village Cup. These are football tournaments that persons come from all over the country rather to view. Even from West Suriname, we have teams coming there. So these things are what attract persons to Orealla, beside the majestic view. And we want Orealla to be, on the map, to be recognized.
For Orealla's ecotourism ambitions to take shape, reliable infrastructure, particularly electricity, is essential. Early assistance arrived from CNOC, a partner in Guyana's Stabroek block, which installed solar-powered streetlights. However, a faulty generator hampered progress. The turning point came via Guyana's low funds earned through carbon credit sales empowered Orealla to invest in a new generator, paving the way for sustainable growth.
So the low carbon development strategy has been a wonderful program, I would say. Especially last year, our village generator went down, and it went out for almost 2 months. If it wasn't for the funds received from the LCDS, we would have taken a very long time to get that generator. And so because of that funding, we were able to purchase the new generator that replaced the generator that we had for almost 10 years, or over 10 years.
The impact of this new generator is already being felt across the community. Percy Pinu, the acting head teacher of Orealla Primary School, highlights the benefits for education and beyond.
It is a better generator, and it can service more people. Right, and more people are benefiting from it at the moment. At present, we were getting electricity from 5 in the afternoon to 10 in the night. Now what we're having is from in the mornings also, from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Right now, if for example you're not at home and you couldn't get to press your clothes or whatever for the children or whatever, you can do so in the morning. Long ago, people they more so would salt their fish or meat or whatever to preserve it. But now they have electricity. They can have it on, the freezer on, and that extra hours would give this. Oh, it is okay because it's freezing. And that's good for us.
For Ingrid DeVere, who returned to Orealla after studying in Georgetown, the new generator has made a difference in her and her son's life, especially as he prepares for important examinations.
The generator has been a great blessing to our community, and we suffered a lot during the months that the generator that was prior to this one, that it was down. For mothers especially, they have to get their children ready for school, and recently the council has started doing a new additional time they've put in the morning and in the weekends. For the morning period, it is a great boost where the parents can get up and get electricity in the morning to prepare for that school day. Some people prepare snacks for their children, or they prepare snacks for sale. So in terms of school, it's very good, and also for those who are doing business. For me, I do online courses, and I do a lot of research and studies in the night, reading. And so the electricity, having lights is very helpful to me, and it is also very beneficial to my son. So although it's just myself and my son, we see the benefits of it, much less persons who are doing so many other things and have so many other children in the home.
Radio plays a vital role in connecting Indigenous communities, often reaching areas where other forms of communication are limited. Veteran broadcaster Lloyd Penu explains how reliable electricity has enhanced their local radio station.
So we depend on the village generator to provide the power for us. It has a solar system here, but it's not adequate. It's sometimes when you get a weather like this, it doesn't generate enough power. So sometimes when you're on the station, whoops, you get a blackout. So very much important that we have this new generator here. It's very, very important. Without this radio, okay, things that we do here, we send out like, just for like if you're celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, you're sending a request. Everybody here, whatever we have to say. And let's say we have old age pensions, person coming in to pay pension, we send a message through the radio. Everybody gets the message, where to go, where to come to Sepulveda, to Orealla. And indeed, that's one of the best things that we have here in Orealla.
For Tushar Vandenberg, the funds from the LCDS represent more than just financial assistance. They are recognition of the invaluable traditional knowledge held by Indigenous communities and a means for self-determined development. This has been Daniel Swain for the Newsroom.
When the newsroom returns, the financial weather and bread reports. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Newsroom. Now for a look at what's happening in sport. We're starting off with some football news. The Guyana Football Federation, the GFF, is on the verge of naming a new head coach for the Golden Jaguars national team, with an announcement expected within the next 3 weeks. The GFF president, Wayne Ford, revealed on Thursday that a shortlist of approximately 8 candidates is being considered for the top role. While Ford remained tight-lipped about the identities of the shortlisted individuals, he expressed optimism that the new coach would be in place within the time frame. The appointment comes at a crucial time for the Golden Jaguars, who are gearing up for a FIFA World Cup qualifier match against Nicaragua on June 6th, having missed out in qualification for the Gold Cup group stage. The head coach position became vacant following the GFF's decision to end their contractual agreement with Jamal Shabazz in October 2024. Wayne Dover has been serving as the interim coach since the departure of Shabazz. The GFF had previously indicated that a new permanent coach would be announced by the end of March 2025.
We have the shortlisted candidates, and we're just going through some protocol and due diligence. I'm hoping we can make that announcement in not more than 3 weeks from now. We have a team that is doing that. I am just being briefed on it. I will get involved when the final interviews are being done. Maybe I'll get involved. But I have a committee appointed to that entire selection process, and I believe we have about 8 shortlisted candidates.
Meanwhile, the Guyana Football Federation and Blue Water Shipping are gearing up for the second edition of the Under-15 Girls National Secondary School Championship, with the ambitious target of involving 91 schools nationwide, almost double the participation from the inaugural tournament. Endorsed by the Ministry of Education, this competition stands as the largest girls football tournament in Guyana, spanning across 9 of the country's 10 regions. The inaugural championship in 2004, that should be in 2024, saw a dramatic final with St. Ignatius Secondary emerging victorious after a thrilling penalty shootout against Warrimuri Primary Top. The official launch for the 2025 tournament took place on Thursday at the GFF's National Training Facility at Providence, signaling the start of another exciting chapter for girls football in Guyana.
The Under-15 tournament was historic when we launched it back in 2024. At that time, we had 54 schools participating. This year, we are targeting 91 schools. And to date, we've had 66 schools that have confirmed their participation. So we are going to break records this year as well. Oftentimes, I've said there's a reason why we're doing as much as we have been doing girls football within the school system, for the simple reason that we do not have the infrastructure that we would like to have at the club level, where we can ensure that young women are able to go to their clubs, play and enjoy the game in a safe and wholesome environment with proper dressing rooms, changing rooms, some of the basic amenities. At this stage, we don't have those facilities at our clubs. And it's for that reason that we're developing all of our football female program at the youth level within the school system.
That is really the value that we commit to. That's where we love to see the exposure and just the opportunities for these young girls to showcase their talent. Of course, Wayne would have mentioned the success of the tournament in 2024, which was the inaugural tournament. And we had Blue Water super excited, super happy, super committed to ensuring that the tournament was a success. And of course, we have no doubt that in 2025, that the tournament is going to be even more successful.
It's nice for Blue Water to be able to, give back to the community and help grow the game. And I hope I can come back and see a game and see the girls, the smile on their face, because that's where where it all matters. But Blue Water as a company, we're it's a sports, it's a family-owned company, and he's big into sports. And I think globally we like to give back to the communities that we're in and help grow the game.
And now for some news out of the Regional 4-Day Championship. The Guyana Harpy Eagles have taken crucial first innings points at stumps on Day 2 against the Trinidad and Tobago Red Force at the Queen's Park Oval. The Harpy Eagles, responding to Red Force's first innings score of 240, ended the day on 269 for 5 from 7 to 9 overs, with the all-rounders Kevin Sinclair not out on 21 and Kimo Paul on 18. The Harpy Eagles got half centuries from the opener, Raymond Perez, with 82 of 144 balls with 11 fours, and Kevlin Anderson with 51 of 62 with 7 fours, continuing his great form this season. Also among the runs, Tevin Imlak, the skipper, he made 33, and Kimal Savory made 32, dismissed just before the close on Day 2. The other batsman being dismissed, Matthew Nandu, the opener, he went for 11, 269 for 5. The Guyana Harpy Eagles. Bowling for the Red Force, Carrie Pierre, 3 for 61. Shannon Gabriel, who worked up some pace on Day 2, and Brian Charles, 1 for 43. Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, 240 all out, 58 from Jid Goli, 38 from Carrie Pierre, and Cephas Cooper, the opener, he also made a half century, and even 50 off 99 balls. Bowling for the Guyana Harpy Eagles, Kimo Paul, 3 for 45, Ronaldo Ali Mohammed, 2 for 42, and Niall Smith, 4 for 49. Some valuable fast bowling points there for the Harpy Eagles, and Versamy Permaul picking up the other wicket, 1 for 41. So the position at stumps on Day 2 at the Queen's Park Oval in Trinidad. The Guyana Harpy Eagles, 269 for 5 in response to Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, 240 all out. The Harpy Eagles will start Day 3 tomorrow with a lead of 29, and a crucial lead, of course. First innings points in a drawn encounter could very well give them the Regional 4-Day title another year. And now that the female intercounty T20 competition has concluded, the Guyana Cricket Board selectors will sit and come up with the best possible combination to represent Guyana at the upcoming Cricket West Indies Women's T20 Blaze. The regional competition is slated for St. Vincent and the Grenadines from April 28th to May 12th. Cricket Operations Manager of the Guyana Cricket Board, Anthony Danrad, said that the intercounty is a vital competition in deciding the composition of the Guyana team. After that process is over, the ladies will head into encampment as they ramp up preparations for the regional tournament.
As we all know that the regional tournament would have been split this year with the Super 50 being played at a different period to the the T20, which is usually the case over the years. So CWI would have, decided to split those tournaments the same way they would normally do for the male, with the male playing the 4-day on a different period from the Super 50 tournament. Right, and this regional tournament is scheduled for the end of this month on the 28th. The team leaves on the 28th of April to May the 11th. Right, so between now and the 28th, obviously we'll have to select and name a Guyana team, which I want to wish those who are selected, congratulations to them and wish them well. I want to announce as well the encampment period would be between the 22nd or the 24th or the 22nd of April, which is probably in 2 weeks or less than 2 weeks' time, to the 26th of April, and the team travels on the 28th.
IPL news now. KL Rahul hit an unbeaten 93 as Delhi Capitals beat Royal Challengers Bengaluru by 6 wickets to make it 4 consecutive wins to start their IPL campaign. Chasing 164, the Capitals slipped to 58 for 4, but Rahul struck 7 fours and 6 sixes in a 53-ball innings, forming a 111-run fifth-wicket partnership with Tristan Stubbs, who made 38 not out from 23 that took their side to victory with 13 balls to spare. Having been put into bat, RCB got off to an explosive start with Virat Kohli and Phil Salt racing to 61 before the latter was run out by Vipraj Nigam from the penultimate ball of the 4th over. Salt departed for 37 from 17, having blasted 4 fours and 3 sixes in his brief innings, but his dismissal saw a change in momentum. Kohli was caught by Mitchell Starc in the deep of Nigam's bowling, while Liam Livingston sliced Mohit Sharma to backward point for 4 as the home side reached 117 for 6 in the 17th over. Noted finisher Tim David arrived at number 8 and struck 4 sixes in a 20-ball 37, allowing his team to finish on 163 for 7. Meanwhile, MS Dhoni will lead Chennai Super Kings for the remainder of the IPL after Ruturaj Gaikwad sustained an elbow injury. The 43-year-old returns to captain his side. He led between 2008 and 2024, taking the franchise to 5 IPL titles. There has been speculation in recent days that Dhoni might retire after his parents attended Saturday's defeat by Delhi Capitals, but he will now take charge of a side who have lost 4 and won just 1 of their opening 5 matches, sitting 9th in the 10-team table. The veteran wicketkeeper is averaging 51.5 with the bat in this campaign, largely thanks to 3 innings where he finished unbeaten and has 2 top scores of 30 at a strike rate of 153.73. Basketball news now. General Secretary of the Guyana Basketball Federation, Patrick Haynes, said that the historic One Guyana 3-3 quest is a stepping stone to greater things for the sport in these quarters. Guyana created history, becoming the first country in the English-speaking Caribbean to host the prestigious tournament, which was won by Carolina of Puerto Rico. Carolina defeated the Distrito Nacional of the Dominican Republic 21-15 in the Open Final to secure a spot in the prestigious FIBA 3-3 World Tour in Edmonton, Canada. Haynes said discussions have started with academies in Europe, specifically those in Serbia and Spain, to fast-track development at the grassroots level. The basketball official also highlighted that a post-tournament assessment will be conducted to not only highlight the positives of Guyana's hosting, but importantly, create a discourse on possible areas of improvement.
So one of the things that I'm talking to a number of academies within Europe, in Serbia 3x3 Academy and the Spain 3x3 Academy, it's building basketball, not only 3x3 basketball on a whole from the grassroots level. We're talking about from 4 to 5 all the way to the ages of 18 to make sure that the fundamentals is there, the accessibility to the game is there. So this is a stepping stone that we can use to now influence the youth and bring them into the game so that it is not a one and done, but we have a success plan for us to move forward in growing the sport, not only Guyana, but also the Caribbean. So one of the things that we do is a post-tournament assessment. This is something that I will sit with the FIBA Americas 3x3 manager. We have a meeting schedule. We've taken a number of points in terms of areas for improvements, but not only that, but we like to highlight the positives of what we have seen. I always like to say from a project management perspective, manage your expectations. So it's where do we start and where do we want to end and how do we get there? And I think what we have seen, we are very satisfied. We've seen a lot of improvements from before to now, and I think we just have to course correct and tweak some minor things to get us to that level. One of the things that I spoke to the minister is that we would also be doing a facilities inspection so we can give the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall what is that level it is and what is the level it needs to be to a level 1 FIBA certified facility to host senior men's and women's competitions that can be, transcend Guyana into that global sports tourism arena.
And with that, we've come to the end of the news for this evening. Of course, you can find updates on these and other stories on our website, newsroom.gy, and all social media platforms. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for watching. Be safe. See you next time.